Hi, depending on where you are in the world, good afternoon. Welcome to the second broadcast of I Would Agree With This, or AI Would Agree With This. Today's guest needs no introductions. Very pleased to have Alex Mead on the show with me today. I'll introduce him on in just a second. For those of you that are watching this back, obviously the video stays live once we've finished the broadcast. So if you are watching this back, thank you for watching it, and great to have everybody join us. And we've had quite a lot of interest in terms of signing up for the event. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hey, Paul. I'm good. Well, I've got man flu, but you know, a lot of people won't understand that. But it's the worst flu in the world for me in particular.
It's a good starting point. Fantastic to have you on, Alex. Really appreciate you coming on to share your views with us. Obviously, I'm sure everybody who's attending today has probably seen you before. Actually, our first time, we'd only spoken the other day. It's great to finally meet you.
You too.
So, what we're going to discuss today? Obviously, we've got the theme for the show on today. Whilst we're doing this, it is a live show. So people who are watching this at home on LinkedIn or via Twitter, if you want to ask your questions in the comments, I'll see those comments come up on the screen. Be more than happy to try and answer as many as we can as we go through the conversation. Alex, in as short a time as you can, tell me about the global state of the customer experience.
Okay, if we were in NPS world, I would not recommend customer experience globally to any friends I have, or even any enemies. It's a shocker. So customer experience is a buzz term that was chucked out 10, 15 years ago, which has just confused the hell out of people, because customer experience is made up of customer service, fulfillment, marketing, sales, etc., etc., and grouping it all together into this phrase customer experience has just ruined customer service experience. So yeah, I would give it 2 out of 10, and that's probably generous, just because I don't want to give a 1, because there may be a few good companies out of thousands.
Awesome. So I think if I'm right in understanding where that view comes from, I think where people see customer service and customer experience, I think a lot of people kind of use those two interchangeably, right? And I think you've got a very different view on where that sits and what that means to you.
Absolutely. So customer experience to me is a phrase that we should not be allowed to utter. Like, what do you do? I do business. Would you say that? No, you would. So I do customer. It's exactly the same principle. So if we think of a customer experience, I've always said it's made up of 2 core things. It's made up of the brand and product marketing experience and the customer service experience. But the problem is, when I say customer service experience, people think, oh, customer service, that's the complaints team that sit in the corner. No, customer service experience to me means any question a customer has at any time about anything. So that's actually a huge bucket of things. So that includes the digital experience, the social, the AI, the chatbot, the physical walking into a store, the call center, the speech analytics, self-service. That is all customer service experience. And to do that well, it needs to be underpinned by the right customer relationship management platform, the right ERP platform. So if people just focused on customer service experience alone, they would realize, my God, that's a lot of work to do just to even get that right. But we have the second aspect, which is brand and marketing and sometimes product experience. And those guys are being made chief customer officers. So they have tons of marketing insight and experience, and they're great at journey mapping and voice of the customer, the stuff we see in pretty much every global CX thought leader. But they don't realize, I'm sat in a queue for 45 minutes. I don't care about a voice of the customer survey, or I just want to know when my parcel's coming because it's somebody's birthday tomorrow, and you can't tell me you don't know either. So, customer experience, I would love to bin the phrase, because it is just, I do business. That's what it means to me. It's the same set of nonsense. So yeah, that's my view on customer experience.
Interesting. And I think you touched on chatbots there, Alex. I think that's somewhere else that you've got a particularly strong opinion. And I have to agree. I think, before we get into that, I think chatbots definitely have their place, and they've evolved from where they were. And, I hear it, so many people nowadays talking about AI chatbots. And first of all, I mean, Alex, what would you suggest as what's AI and what's not?
Okay, so first of all, 99% of chatbots I've seen, or maybe 95%, you could just do a better digital UI to achieve what the chatbot does. What's your question about XYZ? Here's an answer. It's just like knowledge article FAQs. It's not particularly sophisticated. But the problem companies had is they should have started with, okay, a customer now needs to ask a question. Let's design a very simple app or website page that says, is your question about a new order, an existing order, or something else? Pretty much everything fits into one of those three. And if it's about a new order, have you seen what you're interested in, or do you need help? You can guide like 3 or 4 knowledge trees. So chatbots should have started out just replicating that, but they tried to get clever and they tried to chuck in conversational language, and they basically, sorry, I don't understand your question, Mr. Customer. And you really think, my God, all I'm asking is where the nearest ATM is, Oh, we call it cash point, it's just so they went down the wrong article. And to answer the way it should be done, in my current role, I've spent almost a year and a half putting in the CRM platform, which is linked to I'm working for a digital startup bank, which will be launching next year. But we have banking systems, we have an app, and I've basically pinned in our CRM platform into all of that. So if a customer goes to our app and they want to ask a question, the first thing we allow them to do is just click an article if they see it, and we'll present them with things that may be helpful to that particular customer, because we know, okay, that customer yesterday started a loan. So they're probably, when they sign in, they're probably going to, so let's show them something that may help them. But when it comes to a well-designed AI engine, what we're going to do when we've got the foundations in place is allow a customer to type or speak with natural language into the mobile device and say, hey guys, do you do loans for students? Because we've linked it to our CRM platform, it's going to know, hey, Paul Banks, he's a student, he studies archaeology or whatever, So, hey, Paul, I can see you study archaeology. I can see that's really relevant. So it's going to be a personalized AI solution linked to the customer's persona and profile and what we know about what they've been doing for us. But the trick, because we're not going to get it right from day one. These things take a year, 2 years, even longer to become really intelligent. They need to learn like a small child, to be honest. And that's one of the other myths. People think there are hundreds, if not thousands, of third-party AI chatbots. They're called AI. They're not AI. You can't buy one that understands the answers to the questions, because the company needs to create the answers. Hey guys, what products and credit cards are you offering soon? The AI engine is going to know that, is it? So they need to be taught the answers. And so what we're doing is we're making sure any question a customer asks, they can ask it very easily. Hey guys, blah, 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 blah. And we'll give them an answer or guide them along, but they can straight away say, nah, I want to speak to someone whenever they want. So when they say they want to speak to someone, they can choose chat, call back, call us, or message. And again, a lot of the AI engines, I'm chatting, they'll only then offer you the ability to then move to live chat. All I wanted to do was bloody phone you. So you're stuck in a chat bot, and then you're forced to another chat session, and then they tell you our call center's closed. So, the overarching thing is make it so easy for the customer just to ask their question. Because if you don't have the answer, it shouldn't be the customer's issue. You just got to, behind the scenes, learn every day. What were the 25 to 40% of questions customers asked us we couldn't answer? They had to then go on and contact us. And we improve that behind the scenes rather than forcing the customers down these stuffy silos of computer says no, geez, it's hopeless.
Yeah. And I think there's quite a few things to unpack in there. I think one of them is kind of calling things what they are, right? If a customer's talking to a chatbot, tell them that they're talking to a chatbot. Don't try and pretend that it's a human when it's, it's going to fall down at some point, and then they're going to realize that they've been conned. It just breaks that trust in the first place. I think the other side of things is, there's so much focus from businesses right now to push what is it like. Let's be honest, like most customer contacts, you have to go through a voice channel. They're quite an expensive contact type. We all know that people cost money, and for a business to try and save margin, then the right thing to do is try and move those unnecessary contacts onto cheaper forms of contact. What would be your advice on how to differentiate between the necessary contact types and the unnecessary ones? Where would you see that line being?
Do you know what? Again, I have a different view to most. People will get McKinsey's, Deloitte, Accenture, PwC into process map. Which are the easy contacts? Which are the tougher ones? Which are the high value? Which are the low value? Actually, I start with pretty much 95% of want to be able to help themselves. So just assume a journey where they can ask any question they want. And if you can't, when they've asked the question, you then have a simple gate to say, right, they've said, hey, I want to complain about something. Well, okay, that's not a chatbot thing, obviously. So let's just streamline that straight to a better solution. But if you say, right, these types of contacts go this way, these go that way, it chucks out two other things that I think are vital. It's the context and the being intuitive. So you could say, hey, that's low value or not important, but what if it's to that particular customer at that time, the most important thing in the world? So just go back to the principle. If you build great self-service, customers will use it 100% of the time if they can. But it's because it's so built so badly, and people spend so much time on, we'll get our chatbot to force you through 5 or 6 questions, and then we will pass you onto this channel and this. No, just build it so a customer can help themselves at any stage, but also at any stage, allow them to get out of that and talk to a human being. And they will stay in it as long as you engage them in it. But as soon as you get them stuck, they'll talk to a customer service agent. But then again, as I said, that's when you've got to make sure people are every day saying, where did our AI, where did our self-service fail to help that customer? So don't make assumptions. This one goes that way, this goes that way. Literally give every customer the ability to ask their question, and then let them choose. And if the trickiest part then is the AI needs to be linked to the CRM, obviously, because and it's so few chatbots are like that. It doesn't say, hey, Alex, I can see you started a loan application yesterday, or you started to book a flight yesterday. Do you want to talk further about that? And if you said yes, it wouldn't pull through the GDS booking details. It would literally say, I'm going to transfer you to an agent. Okay, no, pull through the booking details. And if you can do the whole transaction for me, you're a really good AI engine, because I don't need to talk to anyone ever. So too many chatbots are just front ends. And in 5-10 years, they will do so much more than they do now, because you'll be able to do the transactional side of things. And the last thing you'll be able to do is the thing that the pandemic has got so much worse at, that I wish it had improved on, is the logistics delivery experience. You think the volume of home deliveries has gone through the roof, obviously a unique event, but actually the delivery experience, for the first 6 months, we all accepted it, but it's still getting worse. And it's not getting worse because things aren't getting here on time. It's getting worse because companies have given up on even trying to help people. So imagine the Nirvana solution, where the AI engine, you say to a chatbot, actually, you don't have to say it. You sign in and it says, oh, I can see we were due to deliver a parcel to you today at 2 p.m., Alex. I can see we've missed that delivery. Give me 30 seconds, robot noise in the background. I've just sent a message to the delivery driver. He says they'll be there in 20 minutes. Wow, or even better, oh, I can see it's still stuck at the depot. It's not going to be here today. We're sorry, here's some compensation or an apology. Where would you like it delivered tomorrow? And if an AI engine can do that, that is when they're finally going to add value, because they're just glorified self-service digital design engines at the moment, I think.
Yeah,
and I think we're far away from that as well, aren't we? If you think about where we are, I can't think of a single example where that is in place, and that's what it should be doing.
Yeah, I think when I reflect on some of the experiences that I had, I think there's a clear point when I'm going through this trying to self-serve, because I'm exactly like you said, Alex. Like, I go and I just want, majority of the time, unless it's a complex query or I'm emotionally sort of involved in the conversation, and I want to speak to a human. And if I just want an answer, or I want something resolving quickly, I'll go through the chatbot. But the amount of times that I end up going round and round in circles, because, and let's be honest, like, your chatbot can be as good as you want it to be, your customer service can be as good as you want it to be, but if you haven't tried to follow your customer's footsteps to kind of figure out what their path actually looks like, so you've probably sort of mapped it all out, you've spent all this time and money doing your customer journey map, and then you've sent it over to the customer service team or whoever to build out that process and that journey, and actually what ends up happening is somebody hasn't tried to test it out, and they just send your customers round and round in a loop, which is just the most frustrating thing in the world, especially during pandemic, where we've had alternative channels of contact turned off.
Do you know how many if I posted, I'm already seen as a miserable git on LinkedIn, I'm sure, because this bloody Alex is always complaining about customer service, rather than, hey, another award ceremony, which we won't talk about. We're going to award this company because they're not as bad as everyone else. No, don't award anyone until we raise that game. But the point is it's just it is so. What we're doing now is just trying to catch up to where we should have been 5-10 years ago. And actually, I don't even want to. So if the chatbot or the AI doesn't answer my question, actually, what's been a great test for me is I'm in Bahrain and I've still got all my accounts, all my everything in the UK. Imagine phoning Sky. You have to phone them because they're AI and digital experience sucks, knowing it's cost you £1.80 per minute. And you have no option to phone them because they say your 1 year contract's running out and they're going to bump up your package by £40 a month. You know, and it's cost me £72 to talk to the agent who says I've now got to phone someone else. It just opens your eyes. So what we're all too old to really be thinking about the future, but I do try to think about it. I think in the future there'll be AI conversational, or it'll just be an interface. People won't think AI; they'll think of it as the company's branded page. So I'm going to an app, or who knows what it'll be. It may even be an app. It'll be a digital thing, and I'll hologram probably, and I'll say, "Hey guys, that flight I've got coming in 2 days. How much is it to move it from premium economy to business class? Can you get back to me?" I've sent that. That's me done as a customer. That's where the world, and I could send that as an audio message. I could send it as a written message or whatever I want. Probably there's only two. Psychically not yet. So audio or written message. That, as far as a customer should be concerned, should be it. So the company should then be, okay, Alex, okay, we've received that request. Here's his lifetime customer value. Here's his situation. Here's his context. Let's not ask him which flight number have you booked. If you compare that, what I've just described, to the reality right now, it's like this is the primordial swamp to NASA is the gap we're talking about here. So to ask that question now, 99% of airlines don't even have web chat. They don't have a chat bot. So I sit in a call center queue for a new booking, press 1, existing booking, press 2, to 45 minutes later, oh, I'm going to have to transfer you to the sales team because we're offshore. Let me give you a price. Yeah, here's the price. What's the different price I saw online half an hour ago? That's because it's changed. Do you want to book it or not? Oh, no. It's just streets apart. So I think WhatsApp style, messenger style interface is, forget the channels. That's the way customers are going to want to interact. Just hey guys, that delivery, you said it'd be here at 2 o'clock. It's not here. Deal with it. And that is what customer service in 10 years, that's what youngsters will want. And if you don't deal with it, they'll move elsewhere.
So is a challenge for you then, Alex? Because I know you like to have your controversial views, and you're very excited about the state of customer experience. What would you say that we're doing really well right now? What is the one thing that you think has evolved and has gone well from customer experience? If you had to pick
well, digital interfaces like app shopping experiences, and but that actually because they're going so well, it's accentuated the worsening of customer service. So I can now pretty much the main retailers, Christmas coming, I can go in and Amazon hasn't actually advanced that much in terms of personalization, but the others have caught up. So you can go to any of the old stuffy retailers, nearly all of them now have caught up, and they've got slick design interfaces. You want to order something, it's slick. You can get a bunch of options. You can 3D view it. You can sometimes AR it. That stuff they focused on. But because that's become so impressive, if I'm looking at it and I think, hey, can I just ask if that comes in blue? Bugger, you can't do that, because that's customer service experience, but it's not thought of because the digital guys are focused on anything other than that. And again, my point earlier, customer service experiences, I haven't bought anything yet. I'm interested in buying it. That's still customer service experience. So people don't think of that as CSX. They think of it as brand and marketing experience. And brand and marketers wouldn't think for a million years, they think, it looks lovely. I love the way it spins in 3D holograms. They wouldn't think, but what if a customer wants to know, if I order it, I'm going to be out between 2 and 4 p.m. tomorrow. Can the delivery guy phone me my mobile? They don't think. So, yeah, the amazing 3D, AR, virtual reality, hologram, the way products are presented to us and services has gone through the roof. But that just showed the gap of the other things, I think.
Yeah, I think we need to. It's fair to say that if you're going to do those sorts of things, you need to build it on a. You don't build it on a sandy foundation. You build it on a good concrete foundation. Absolutely. You get the basics right and build on from that. There's a couple of comments in the chat. A couple of things I just want to acknowledge. So Ahmed said about the chatbots and differentiating the fact that some of them are just chatbots, some of them are interactive, some of them are AI, some of them are machine learning. And yeah, I don't think anything that we've said today is negative towards chatbots themselves. I think they have a place and they have a use. I think the problem is the way that they're used and the way that they're implemented is the problem, and the processes that they're asked to deliver. And certainly, as you've pointed out, Alex, I think they are moving forwards at a considerable pace. Unfortunately, a lot of the time it feels like the processes that implement them haven't, or have moved backwards.
I've just seen a comment from Matt Heim that I like, actually. Sorry, Karen. We'll come back to that. Sorry, Paul. You had but Matt Matt, I want to finish on that point. The WhatsApp experience is a good channel, but actually it's mostly a terrible customer service experience, because here's how I integrated WhatsApp and how I'm going to do it in my next job. The customer can go to our website, our app, or phone us, and they'll get the self-service, just tell us what you need, talk to us, any channel experience, however they want. So what we did is we thought we're going to roll out a digital assistant on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and then we're going to put a similar thing on WhatsApp. But what we did is we had the same principle. It starts with, okay, you want to talk to customer service, just choose one of 3 or 4 options. Is it about an existing booking, new booking, or whatever thing, or a flight you've booked, or a hotel? You click that option. It then straight away says, okay, here's what we know about you. Because what we did, we integrated the customer's social profiles into our CRM platform. So our Messenger and our WhatsApp would say, hey, Alex, I can see you've got 2 flights. Is it about this flight or that flight? So actually the social media channel became irrelevant, because it's exactly the same experience as if you did a great digital assistant on our website or app. So WhatsApp is great, but what it does give you is the ability for a customer to, hey, here's where I am right now. I'm about 20 minutes from the airport. Can you tell me where to park? And they can send a physical map location. So I think, if you think of what WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger have, you can send a voice message, you can send a photo, a video, you can send a video of yourself, you can send a GPS position. Imagine that in a customer service world linked to CRM, ERP. So the WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger style things are absolutely the future for sure. But most of them do it as a backup because the other channels are so bad. Feel free to WhatsApp us just because we'll answer quicker rather than because it's an integrated channel.
Or it's almost used because they can use it rather than being something they've carefully considered and decided to use for the benefits it provides.
So we better get to Karen's question.
Now that I've advertised it. Karen's asked about GDPR with the journey that we've mentioned.
Yeah, actually, so all the stuff I've described, clearly you could have a GDPR nightmare if you didn't do it properly. So that's one of the benefits of GEN, and working in one of the kingdoms of the Middle East right now. Fortunately, I don't live there. I live in one of the cooler places in the Middle East, but one of the kingdoms nearby. Cooler being relative, you may think it's less cool. Who knows, Alex? Careful. But the data protection laws there are just as strict, if not stricter. And basically, what we do is as soon as a customer, and we're going to roll this stuff out on the same social media channels I said, but as soon as a customer contacts us, starts that question, we're going to do a whole bunch of ID and V. So because our ODA, a digital assistant, is linked to our CRM, linked to our banking, we can straight away do some tokenization, and we're actually going to drive customers who start to talk to us, to our digital assistant on, when they're not on our app, we're going to say, right, is this a question, generic question? What bank products or services you have? If it's generic and it's not confidential, we can serve you. But as soon as it gets to be a question about your personal situation or your personal data, we will transfer you to, they won't know it, but in the background, you'll be talking just through the digital assistant in our app, because then we will be able to 100% authenticate, are you the right person, through many ways. We're not going to do speech recognition. We don't need to do that, but there's many ways we can do that, which I'm not allowed to share, but we 100% would not be allowed to do any of this unless we could confirm this is Paul Banks we're talking to, not Ahmed Mahdi, who wants to sell Paul Banks credit card details in Mumbai. So I can't hear you, Paul.
There it is.
There you go.
And we've got another point here from Anthony Heald. Why, like in your opinion, Alex, why is it that senior people don't walk that journey? Like, it's clear that it's important and it is fundamental to the process working right, and it seems like such a simple thing to do. Why is it that people don't?
Well, yeah, very good. I kind of know where Anthony's going with the bigger question there. So many of the senior CX directors, 10 years ago, I think I knew most of the customer service directors, the good ones, and most of them were similar to me, maybe 15 years ago, that they had been a contact center agent. They'd been a customer service team leader. They'd been out delivering parcels in the snow, and they'd walked in not only their customers' shoes, but their employees' shoes. And it was just the way you did things. And okay, my first controversial, let's go there. Then along came CXP accreditation, and you can get a certificate, and that's how you'll become customer service and CX. Absolute baloney, honestly. It's to me, I'm not saying that they are all useless. They literally are the equivalent of a theory learner plate for a driving test. So I've done a theory. I can now have whatever L plate. I still can't drive a car because I haven't even proved I know how to turn the engine on. But I've now got theory, basic, foundational level. But the problem is this whole world of CX influencers, CX insights, CX thought leaders, all pushing this boat of CX certification. We have rewards going on, awarding people. It's such a cartel that they don't walk in their customer shoes, because most of them don't even understand that that's what you should be doing. It's they think what they should be doing is journey mapping, listening to voice. Don't journey map. You don't need to journey map. You just need, as Anthony rightly says, phone every call center option, go on your website, order products, and you'll realize, oh my God, the gaps here are huge. So, and not all people are like I'm describing. Obviously, there's still some great people, but a lot of the global influencers we see, I don't see any of them have had operational roles for 10 years at least. And some of them never had senior executive leadership roles. And the first thing I do in any role is make sure I can take calls as a contact center agent or go out with anyone who's out in the field. And what I like doing is, before anyone's even shown me a system, I'll go in there and say, hey guys, it's my first day. Let me take a call. I go, what? And I say, hi, Mr. Customer or Miss Customer. My name is Alex. It's my first day. I don't have a clue how to do anything here, but tell me what it is you need. I'll find some help for you. And everyone goes, wow, that's so cool. And the customer I took a really angry complaint the other day at my very first, my last job. And I said, wow, you're furious. Okay, well, I guess I probably would be if I was in your shoes based on what you told me. Give me 5 minutes. Give me your number. I'll phone you back. And I hung up on the customer, and everyone said, we're not allowed to phone customers back. I said, well, do you know what? I'm the new boss. I'm just going to make that change now. So it was unbelievable. But why they don't walk in customer shoes is it's a different, it goes back to the CX versus CSX argument. They think customer experience is about journey mapping, voice of the customer, analytics insight. It's not about customer service experience. And if they walked in those shoes, that they would get it big time.
So I guess we've got a couple of minutes left on the end of the broadcast, Alex, and I think we've pretty much covered most of the points made in the questions. My last point to you is, if you were to give yourself advice 20 years ago that could have accelerated where you've gone, what would be the one piece of advice that you could have given yourself that would have helped in your journey?
Become a doctor or something very different. Because do you know what? The thing I've made, the only money I ever make as customer, I'm still called customer experience in my current role. I refer to myself as customer service experience, but in the company I'm known as the customer experience guy. I've made no money out of writing books, articles, sanctioning software from CX providers. I make my money working for companies and getting a salary and payroll and bonuses. So I wouldn't change that for the world. I think the only advice I would give is maybe a bit more patient, Alex, because I'm so frustrated with boards when they don't get how important it is for customer service to be point number 2 at least on your agenda. And you can sometimes be in board meetings where they're talking for 3 hours and you're okay, now Alex has got some customer service stuff and there's 2 minutes left. Oh, it drives me insane. So take a breath, Alex. I'd probably be global vice president of some big blue chip company if I was a bit calmer, but I can't turn off this energy, I don't think. It's just that's what drives me as well. And people who work for me say, Alex's energy drives us. Some of the execs say Alex's energy drives us bloody insane, but you know, it's what I am.
Well, I think, you know, I speak to a lot of different people doing what I do, Alex, and it's clear you've got an innate passion for what you do, regardless of what people's viewpoints are on your viewpoints or what your viewpoints are on theirs. And that's a passion that can only be a good thing for a business. You know, you've got to have that energy and drive to motivate the business forward, and sometimes that takes its transformed in lots of different ways. But I think there's very few people I've spoke to that have the energy for customer experience, customer service in particular, that you've shown over the last couple of meetings that we've had. So thank you very much for coming on the LinkedIn Live. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. And please feel free to kind of share the video with your friends and colleagues after the conversation's ended. You know, the video will stay live on LinkedIn as a feed. Please feel free to share it and pass it around. I'd love for some feedback from people if you get a chance to watch the video. I'd like to hear what your thoughts were. I'm sure Alex would as well. Fantastic. Everybody have a great day. Alex, thanks very much for appearing. Speak again soon.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.